Resultado de um ano de trabalho, a passadeira vermelha simboliza o arranque do Festival Internacional de Cinema de Macau. Nesta terceira edição foram exibidos mais de 50 filmes, 11 deles na categoria principal da competição.
We're constantly looking at the new waves of films that are coming out, and that starts really with the Sundance Film Festival in January. In the US, a whole new wave of 100 new films comes out. Berlin is another 200 new films. That's in February. And that's when we start programming. I mean, it's a year-round process. I have a team of brilliant programming consultants who have other jobs, but their job is basically to watch all these movies and to keep up with them throughout the year.
Mike Goodrich, produtor, antigo jornalista e ex-crítico de cinema, assumiu a direção artística do festival desde a segunda edição.
The main thing for me is that we have audiences in cinemas. There are multiple different ambitions for the festival. One is to be a local festival that serves the Macau population and gives them a palette of films that's wider than they normally receive. Film festivals, I think, should primarily be the gift to the place where they're taking place. There are very few industry-only festivals, and I would say those are Sundance and Cannes. A little bit of Toronto, but Sundance and Cannes are mainly industry events. For us, for me, it's about engaging Macau and the Macau population with a wider range of cinema. That's what's really exciting.
We are happy that the festival is going in the right direction. I think we're making a good balance in terms of the public viewing part as well as the more industry-related exchange part. So I guess going into the future, there are always things to change. There are always things that we need to adjust. But I think that being a young festival, we have the opportunity and we have the leeway to allow for different changes to take place because we don't have a big legacy behind us, so there are things that we can experiment with, and then people are tending to allow a young festival to bring in new ideas. So I guess that's a good thing so far.
Um festival não se faz de um dia para o outro, que demora anos a constituir-se. Acho que também tem um lado bom, que é o facto dos realizadores de Macau, a partir do momento que agora dizem de onde é que tu vens, venho de Macau, a comunidade do cinema internacional saber que existe o festival e daí acabar por identificar melhor a desdizia-se de Macau e, aliás, vou dar um exemplo muito claro. Em alguns festivais, quando fazia o concurso de onde vem o filme, não tinha sequer o tic-tic Macau, ou seja, tinha a China Mainland, tinha Hong Kong, tinha Taiwan, mas não vinha Macau sequer nas cruzinhas para pôr, nos formulários online. Neste momento isso já não é verdade, porque a comunidade toda do mundo do cinema sabe que Macau existe, que tem um festival, que é um festival que para a dimensão da cidade, que é um festival bastante grande para a dimensão da cidade. As coisas também têm que crescer controladamente e com o seu tempo e à medida das necessidades, por isso acho que está tudo a correr muito bem.
I think it's really getting on the map, and the word is spreading that Macau has this fantastic event. And I think it's increasingly becoming a more important place for people to stop on the circuit of film festivals, and it feels like the festival itself is getting more established. So there's a kind of confidence that is growing. I know it's the third year, and yeah, I think it's really excellent. They're doing a great job.
It's a young festival, and the thing with young festival is that you see them change and develop right in front of your eyes. Because when I'm in Venice, you're dealing with 100 years of festival history, and it all becomes, oh yeah, you can't do that because the festival's brand is this and that. But here, it's being created right here, right now, today. So there's certainly a lot of potential because the place is unique. So I think films are already being shot here. So you want to leverage that and to build like a bigger industry around that.
It's the end of the year, and by this point you've been to Sundance, Berlin, Cannes, Venice, and in the last couple of months, Busan, Telluride, Toronto, Venice. There's not much left out there that is worth seeing. The programming here I like because it's the perfect combination of things you didn't get a chance to see, some odd choices, especially for such a small festival, and big, glossy, splashy crowd pleasers. Like Green Book is the perfect example for, it was an audience award winner at Toronto. It's a good choice for an opening film.
I did catch one screening at Macau Tower last night, and I was a bit disappointed, only because of the technical aspects of it. The thing is, when you watch a really beautiful film, it has to be shown in a very beautiful way. So the projector is important for the light ratio, the sound is important for the ratio.
Macau Tower isn't the ideal venue for movies. The picture quality isn't what it could be for some of these films especially.
Acho que acaba por resultar aqui alguma falta de salas para as venues, o que é mau, mas também é bom, porque se sentir-se falta, há a possibilidade delas nascerem.
We understand that we do have infrastructure limitations in Macau in terms of places to project films. This has always been, quite a challenge. So I guess we'll have to, still think about, whether there are other opportunities within town, or whether there are other places where we can show some films. So it's still a challenge. I guess this is the main challenge for us.
We use 3 venues. The Cinematheque Passion, which is 60 seats, and then the next seats up after that are in 400 and 500 and 700. So there's nothing in between. There's not a 150 seat or 200 seater. So we have to program the films very carefully into the venues.
O festival tem também uma componente associada à indústria e à produção. Neste contexto, o Industry Hub reuniu em Macau centenas de profissionais do setor de todo o mundo. Muitos passaram pelo Project Market, onde estavam mais de uma dezena de projetos cinematográficos à procura de financiamento.
We carefully selected 14 projects around the world, which including 2 Macau local projects, and we providing a platform, we matchmaking the filmmakers with investors and buyers and programmers. It basically is a networking platform.
We don't do a public call for submissions. We take a very curatorial approach, and so that means, we're working through the year to reach out, find things that fit the mandate, because we have a very particular type of project that we're looking for. We reach out through the year to producers, to financiers, to directors that we know. We're interested in projects that combine cultural elements. Part of the positioning of the festival and what we're trying to do here is kind of position Macau as a meeting point between the East and the West. And then beyond that, we split things in terms of kind of the number of projects that we take that are more overtly commercial and projects that are kind of more auteur driven. We don't have a cultural fund attached. If you're in the project market in Berlin, you're interacting directly with the World Cinema Fund. We don't have that. What we do have is a lot of Chinese investment. And so we have to be sensitive and responsible to those investors and make sure that there's a range of things that are interesting to them. And then we reserve a number of spots for things that are more pure auteur art house, so that those have a place as well. In terms of the Macau projects, we work pretty closely with the Macau government, and so it's been very exciting to us to be here and be part of it and watch as you see filmmakers kind of rise up. This year, one of our Macau projects is by Tracy Choi, who was here with her debut feature screening in the first International Film Festival Macau. So to see somebody who's a local filmmaker come screen here at the festival, then be out developing her next project and come back to us and have the market part of the organization here be part of helping her actually put that together and advance and grow and have more contact with people around the world. That's very exciting for us.
Our project actually is in quite early stage, so we need actually quite a lot suggestion and how can we improve the project, or how can we get funding or invest. So it's quite nice for me to have this chance to talk with more people, industry people all around the world, to see how's the possibility of the project.
It's extremely important to have industry coming to Macau and engaging with not only seeing the city for sometimes the first time, but also getting to grips with the new projects that we're presenting them with. it's about engaging with Macau, it's about engaging with Chinese projects, it's about engaging with Chinese guests. We have a new section called New Chinese Cinema where I want foreign visitors and local audiences to see the best of Mandarin language, rather Chinese language cinema. So that's Mandarin and Cantonese, that they wouldn't normally see, you know. I think even some of the foreign journalists I was talking to don't understand that what our relationship is here to mainland China in terms of the special administrative region status, in terms of the fact that Cantonese is the main language. You know, it's an educational process for everybody who comes here.
It's important that local film industries are well supported because people want to see stories that reflect their lives. And of course, they're the universal stories, you know, the great films that work everywhere in the world. But it's very, very important that the local industry is well supported so that people have the opportunity not just to express themselves as filmmakers, but that the audience can see films that really relate to their everyday existence and everyday life. I really recommend that the government here set up some sort of funding to help filmmakers. And of course, not only does that help people have films that reflect their own lives, but it creates the possibility that these films will travel the world and the rest of the world will get some insight into what Macau is like and how people live here, which I think is really important as well, to share our stories on a global basis.
For this industry to work, you really have to groom the talents of new directors and because it's like you can't do those upper high, like really big budget film with big stars. Even Hong Kong, you cannot do that.
I think there really needs to be an organized initiative to attract films to shoot here. You know, I come from the UK, which brings in over £1 billion a year to the economy from movies shooting in the UK. I think Macau, just look around, you know, it's a movie set. But for that you have to have an infrastructure and you have to have a film commission in place that's out there marketing Macau as a location. And that has to be done in a systematic way. So I hope that's the next step. I'm not necessarily involved in that, but I've certainly made my voice loud and clear on that. I think it's a really important step.
The Secretary for Social Affairs and Culture, Dr. Alexis Tam, he actually started raising this idea. I'm not sure whether it will be a film commission or it will be integrated into already some existing structures that we already have. I think sometimes it's not really the subsidizing, sometimes it's a lot of logistics assistance that we can provide to international film projects who would like to come here and shoot. I guess as the Director of Tourism, of course, having film projects or television projects coming to Macau to shoot is also a very important part of promotion.
I'm sort of beginning to suss out the Macau traditions. You know, I find it a very conservative audience here. I think that it'll take them a while to take the festival seriously, you know. I think we've made enormous progress in the last couple of years, but I think you want it to be an annual habit that they get into to go to the festival, and I think we're still proving ourselves to the local community that we are serious and we're here to stay, and we want to give them the pleasure of as many films as possible. So in 10 years' time, hopefully it will be an established part of Macau life that in December, in the first week of December, there's a great film festival event where all these amazing films and filmmakers and actors and actresses and writers and industry come in and focus in Macau for a while. You know, people want to come and visit Macau, but what's more important for me is that the local community engages with it. You know, if you think of the great A-list film festivals, whether it be Cannes or Venice or Sundance, they're all in resort places. They're all in great tourist towns. You know, and I think Macau is a great tourist town. You know, it's this extraordinary place. People love coming here. You know,
this is my first time with IFAM, but I can tell you right off the bat, it's, you know, first class. The people I have met who are connected with it are elegant and excited and passionate about the movies and about the folks who made the movies and their collaborations. I think that the lineup is an excellent one and shows a great deal of taste and thought went into it. And so I would have to say that IFAM stands out as a world-class International Film Festival, and I can tell you that once I get home and share my experiences, you're going to have a lot more ambassadors going to be as thrilled to be here as I have been. I mean, I'd love to shoot a movie here. I'd love to find a director from Macau and make a movie here and see what that brings on. I'm sure it'd be fascinating.